if he had the choice between spending time and harmonizing decision-making with HTA bodies, whether he would whether he would favor spending more time doing that, or whether he would spend more time collaborating on an international level. And in terms of harmonization, what would be his priority? And obviously it's a very hard question to answer, but he said, I think in the short term, the priority would be to harmonize with the HTA bodies. And I thought that was very interesting, and it's good to see that you're still collaborating at the international level. So my question to everybody on the panel is, are you thinking in your different regions that it will also be possible, in addition to collaborating between the different agencies, also to collaborate with the health technology assessment bodies or payers to sort of harmonize also a little bit that pathway for sponsors? Thank you.
Guido, I think you've done most of the work on the Europe at a crossroads, I think.
Yes, and I think if you have to make a choice today, as we say, we have no chance in Europe, but we have to cooperate with the HTA bodies, because, as I said, I don't want to experience the frustration to approve what the patient cannot benefit. That's basically the problem. If I see in the long term, the solution is in the international collaboration. In isolation, we cannot solve the problem, because the problem of generating the evidence, the science underpinning the decision, should be a common share and should be a common evidence that we have to, that fit for Europe, fit for the payer, fit for the Japanese, for the Canadian, and for anybody. So the solution would be international. The immediate engagement should be where the problem is today. That's Europe.
Anybody like to comment?
Maybe just add, I think it may be a bit of an obvious statement, but we live in the real world, and we have, various interactions at, regional levels and between countries. We've got all sorts of bilateral relations. We've got all sorts of, our regulatory tools and obligations. So I think we have to live in both worlds. We have, North America, for example, very integrated system. We're not, we have to work within that, but yet we know where the trends are and the sources are and where some of the issues are. So I think it requires us living in this complex world of where you have to keep both things going. So you've got to deal with the immediate, and you've got to put it in path towards, the future of cooperation. So it makes it a bit more challenging, but I think you can't. It's not an either or. I think there are certain, incidents and events and so on that obviously crystallize the mind towards where you need to put your immediate efforts. But I think in the long run, there's tremendous value in the kind of coalitions that we're starting to see emerge. And I think the value is in making sure that right off the bat, right from the ground, that we actually build these in such a way that they are streamlined, they're adding value, that they're not duplicating. So I think this notion of being nimble and being strategic, I think is going to be very, very important.
And I would just reiterate what's been said by the others, is that it isn't an either or. It's a global system, and it's a global system from start to finish. And so the more collaboration, the more harmonization you can have at the beginning as products are being developed, and at the end as products come through the pipeline, I think the better off that we all are. If you look at any aspect of this system from start to finish, there are global aspects to all of it, whether or not it's the basic research that goes on, whether it's the clinical trials themselves, which increasingly are multinational in their design. The patients are certainly able to find each other internationally more and more, and that's a huge benefit. And they have a very pivotal role in terms of patient-focused drug development. And then at the end, as the products come through the pipeline, I do think that there needs to be the ability to actually get these to the folks that need them. And collectively, I think that we have to figure out solutions to that as well.
Okay. So definitely not an either-or. It's,
No.
I think everybody agrees that it's something that you have to look at both sides of the coin, and you can't focus in one direction without addressing the other.